The United States one China policy is not the same as China's one China policy. The Chinese view of the one China policy is that there is one China and its capital is in Beijing. The United States view, as specified in the Shanghai Communique, the American government is aware that the Chinese government says that there is only one China and not one China and one Taiwan. And the United States acknowledges this position. It does not say the United States agrees with this position. Blinken and Jake Sullivan do not want to sound as if they're going to say to China, yes, we will defend Taiwan, because they are somewhat afraid that this would embolden the Taiwan government to declare independence. I think that is not true. I don't think the Taiwan government would be emboldened.
China has ratcheted up its harassment of Taiwan by routinely sending military aircrafts to Taiwan's airspace. Is it really contemplating taking Taiwan by force? Is Taiwan the most dangerous place on Earth? My interview with June Teufel Dreyer, professor of political science at the University of Miami. You are watching Zooming in China. I'm Simone Gao. Thank you, Professor Dreyer, for joining Zooming in China today. You know, The Economist magazine says that Taiwan is the world's most dangerous place and that the United States is coming to fear that it may no longer be able to deter China from seizing Taiwan by force. Do you agree?
No. I think magazines often put headlines like that on articles so that people are attracted to buy them. I do not think Taiwan is the most dangerous place in the world to be. I would opt for Afghanistan, among others, because of the turmoil going on now. And Papua New Guinea on any given day, just because it's a very dangerous society. But no, my friends in Taiwan seem unconcerned with the threat, maybe because they've lived with it psychologically for so long. But it seems to me that Taiwan is a very stable society. It's very secure in its view of itself. And it is China, of course, that is hyping this threat.
That said, do you think America has the military capability to defend Taiwan if it wants to?
It definitely has the ability to deter an invasion of Taiwan. Whether it would do so and under what circumstances is a whole other question, of course.
Yeah. Then this leads to another question. What do you think of the Biden administration's stance on Taiwan? For example, about 2 weeks ago, the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that we believe in the One China policy, the full implementation of the Taiwan Relations Act and the 6 measures, etc. And we oppose unilateral changes to the status quo. But he did not give an explicit promise to intervene in the event of Chinese military actions against Taiwan. What do you make of it?
I think that is another example of strategic ambiguity. The United States one China policy is not the same as China's one China policy. The Chinese view of the one China policy, as you know, is that there is one China and its capital is in Beijing. And the United States view, as specified in the Shanghai Communique, and that hasn't changed, is that the American government is aware that the Chinese government says that there is only one China and not one China and one Taiwan. And the United States acknowledges this position. It does not say the United States agrees with this position. So now, of course, the Blinken and Jake Sullivan do not want to sound as if they're going to say to China, yes, we will defend China, because they are somewhat afraid that this would embolden the Taiwan government to declare independence. I think that is not true. I don't think the Taiwan government would be emboldened, but I think that's the reason that Jake Sullivan and Antony Blinken have chosen their words so carefully.
Okay. So the bottom line is the U.S. will defend Taiwan?
The United States has not said that, but I think the bottom line is that if China does attack Taiwan, the United States will have to do something to stop it.
Okay. Um, on the CCP part, if the CCP has the capability, or if they think they have the capability to invade Taiwan, and the U.S. can effectively deter it, what are the considerations for its delay in taking military actions? If they are not capable of attacking Taiwan, why do their military craft frequently harass the Taiwan Strait?
The military is trying to scare Taiwan into voluntarily capitulating. I think they would also like to scare the United States into thinking that if America does defend Taiwan, then America will become the focus of the attack. I noticed that the editor-in-chief of Global Times has just warned Australia that if Australia takes part in the defense of Taiwan, that the Chinese military will bomb Australian airfields. And they have said the same thing to the Japanese. So I believe this is for China is trying to warn other countries that they will respond. On the other hand, does China really want to take on Australia and Japan? No, of course they don't. So I think this is just scare tactics on the Chinese part.
Talking about Japan, President Biden recently met with the Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga. During the day-long meeting, China was one of the biggest focuses. Biden said this.
We committed to working together to take on the challenges from China and on issues like the East China Sea, the South China Sea, as well as North Korea, to ensure a future of a free and open Indo-Pacific.
Biden's perception on China was echoed by Suga.
We also had serious talks on China's influence over the peace and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific and the world at large. We agreed to oppose any attempts to change the status quo by force or coercion in the East and South China Seas and intimidation of others in the region.
Suga specifically mentioned their talks over the Taiwan Strait.
I refrain from mentioning details since it pertains to diplomatic exchanges, but there is already an agreed recognition over the importance of peace and stability of the Taiwan Straits between Japan and the United States, which was reaffirmed on this occasion.
Professor Dreyer, on the other hand, believes there are more words than actions on the U.S.-Japan cooperation to deter China.
I'm just saying, so far, all I see is words, right?
Okay.
And once in a while, there's a joint drill. Most recently, the Malabar exercises, which were organized by India, but also involve the United States and Japan and Australia, have taken place. China was not invited this year. That is, again, that's symbolic. The military exercises are symbolic. Something the Japanese have done is put troops on Yonaguni, which is the island of Japan that is nearest Taiwan. It's about 80 miles away. And so that is a minor thing. And the United States has trained Japanese Marines. And I have seen exercises taking place that involve the retaking of islands already taken. Now, so far, those have involved the Senkaku Islands. But on the other hand, Suga, the Japanese prime minister, on his way out of the American talks, the talks with Biden, said to an aide that the Senkakus and Taiwan are related. And another retired self-defense officer has said that the security of Japan is linked to the security of Taiwan. And that is true. But again, we need more deeds and not so many words before I'm convinced.
So, TSMC chairman Liu De-in recently emphasized in an exclusive interview with the U.S. media that the whole world needs Taiwan's chips and there will be no war in Taiwan. Based on your observation, is this really the case? And yeah.
I can certainly agree with the first part of Chairman Liu's statement, because the rest of the world relies on chips made in Taiwan. And somebody else has said that porting, in other words, taking a chip design from one country's fabrication process to another, is like baking a cake. You can't just take one of the ingredients out of it and expect to have a cake. So if the Taiwan Semiconductor Corporation were to be damaged, you would not have a problem only for China and Taiwan. It would be a problem for the whole world. So that is what Mr. Liu has in mind. Now, to go from the first premise that yes, the rest of the world needs Taiwan chips, to go from the second one is to say there will be no war in Taiwan, means that China has thought about this, and I think they must have, and has decided, yes, they can't, because they've tried before to set up their own semiconductor industry, and so far that's been a failure. And I also noticed that TSMC is planning to build a plant in Arizona. So they're diversifying their supply chain so as not to be so involved in China. Now, does that mean there is definitely going to be no war? No, of course not. But at the moment, at least, the world, China included, needs Taiwan's chips. And if they can't find them, it will affect their war performance potentiality in a major way.
Right. Regarding how to avoid a war over the Taiwan Strait, the Tsai Ing-wen administration's cross-strait policy never accepts one country, two systems, and the CCP's use of force against Taiwan. But it also emphasizes not provoking or declaring war, compared with Li Denghui and Chen Shui-bian's period. It's more neutral and pragmatic, but it is severely criticized by former President Ma Ying-jeou, who said Tsai Ing-wen should go back to the 1992 consensus if she doesn't want a real war over the Taiwan Strait. Do you agree with Ma Ying-jeou?
I can't think of any instance in my entire 45-year acquaintance with Ma Ying-jeou when I have agreed with anything he's said. But in this case, what he is saying is not, it's technically true, but not really, because what Tsai Ing-wen did was accept the historic fact that there had been a meeting in 1992. And now we all know that there was no such thing as a 1992 consensus until something like 6 years later, when the person who made it up said, yes, I made up that term. There was a meeting, and the two sides agreed that there was just one China. And China said it's the People's Republic of China. And the Taiwan side, which was then the ROC side, said, but the one China is the Republic of China, which happens to be on Taiwan. So Ma Ying-jeou is twisting words, which is something he does very expertly. But it is not going to help if Tsai Ing-wen agreed, because what she would be agreeing to is not what was discussed in 1992, but what the PRC defines as its policy, namely that there is but one China and its capital is in Beijing.
Okay.
And you have seen what happened to the one China, two systems policy with regard to Hong Kong. There are no longer two systems.
Yeah. So what is your suggestion to the Tsai Ing-wen government in terms of maintaining the security of the Taiwan Strait?
I think that Tsai Ing-wen's government has done exactly the right thing. She has not been, as you said, provocative, but neither has she agreed with the PRC's definition. The problem is that the PRC will accept nothing but its definition. So there is no room for compromise here. The PRC has set up the logical proposition that either you agree with us or you are wrong, and we're willing to go to war about this.
Okay.
So she has gone as far as she can when she said we accept the historical fact of that meeting, but she cannot go farther without agreeing that Taiwan is a part of China, which she will never do.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, these are all my questions, Professor. Do you have anything else to add?
No, apart from the fact that I don't think that Taiwan is the world's most dangerous place, I still think that being very careful is worth watching. I was very disconcerted by the National Intelligence Officer Avril Haines saying last week that if we abandon our policy of strategic ambiguity, China may take retaliatory actions. And that's like saying, if we don't do whatever China wants, we will get hurt. So we better do what China wants. Now, to be fair to her, she then said the congressional meeting, this is the Senate Foreign Relations Committee meeting, should go into closed session. So maybe she had something to say there that sounded better, but I was nonetheless disconcerted by her comments.
Okay, one last question. Just do you think China will, at any point, there's a possibility that China will invade Taiwan? If there is a possibility, when do you think that?
There is always a possibility that something may happen, but at the moment, I don't think it's very probable. Okay. Xi Jinping has his own problems at the moment.
Okay.
He has a lot of problems with a lot of countries, not just the United States or Taiwan. He's having problems with Europe. They've canceled or postponed indefinitely the investment pact. He's having a lot of troubles with Australia. He's having troubles with Canada. And he's also got some problems with his internal intellectuals, in other words, his opposition within China. So unless he is a foolish man, and I don't think he's a foolish man, this would not be a very good time to consider an attack.
This concludes today's program. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you like our production. One important thing to remember, when you subscribe to our channel, please don't forget to also press the notification bell right by the subscription button. This way, you'll be notified when we release a new program, in theory. You can also find us on our website, zoomingin.tv, on Rumble, Gab, Parler, and Locals. You can also support us by donating to us. The donation link is under this video. Thanks for watching Zooming in China. I'm Simone Gao, and I'll see you next time.